Good evening, it's Kuro. Got a ranked game in my daring, going over the matchmaking, looking at an enemy conqueror, Kremlin, Des Moines, Hindenburg, Stalingrad, Gearing, and Shimakaze. The map is shards. It's obviously 3-cap domination. Hopefully the dinosaurs don't get too crazy. They both are awake and have just had lunch, so this is like prime time rampaging through Jurassic Park, so we'll see how it goes. Now, you guys have watched me play this map a few times in Z52 and maybe gearing. I'm not sure if I've got a gearing video on this up or not. Uh, but I'm gonna show an alternate sort of spin on a different way that you can play BCAP, and that is I've got a Des Moines, I've got a Radar Minotaur. Strong points for them are right in here. Now these guys can very easily sit in the cap and actually cap this. The issue is trying to get vision back over here. So I'm making a spotting play to provide vision for my team here and also be able to try to utilize the single fire torpedoes to basically flood this section of the cap with torps. Maybe you get lucky, maybe you don't, but this is something that only daring can really do. Well, Mino too, but Mino is not the same level of concealment and everything else that this destroyer is. So I'm pushing up, already starting to pay some dividends, spot a Stalingrad, and gonna play just pretty passive initially. Just wanna get an idea of what's out here. Not gonna push up aggressive. I'm looking to see where my torpedoes will run. I get radared. That to me means that this guy likely already had his radar up. So that's why I'm not immediately skedaddling. I am calling target on the Des Moines. He's open water. This Kerfer's got direct line of fire. This Yamato in a few moments will have direct line of fire. And this radar is lasting longer than I thought, so he must have just popped it just before I got into range. Now here, I'm just going to drop these torpedoes real tight in here if anything pushes in. It's not the best torpedo volley, but it's one of those things, just being real systematic with those torpedoes. My contribution to the team is mostly the vision that I'm doing at this point. This Des Moines should already be at least half health. I mean, this Yamato's had a crack, this Kurfürst has had a crack. Why these guys are going around the island when you have a damage opportunity like that, I do not know. There's nothing over here that's so important that you can't, wait a minute. And I see that the battleships aren't interested in doing anything about the Des Moines, so I'm going to go make a play. And that play is the Shimakaze. Now, before I go, I pop Hydro. And I pop Hydro because I've got cruisers here that I could screen for torp, and there they are. This is an advantage of playing behind a destroyer that has Hydro. Daring and Z52 both can have, well, relatively long Hydros. Z52, for example, not quite as long, but the Hydro is a lot more powerful. But it's a little over 2 minutes with in duration compared to Daring, which has over a 3-minute Hydro when properly spec'd. Now you can utilize this Hydro coming up behind islands, and basically you've got 1 kilometer to spot things before you jump into proxy. Now here I spot the Shima, didn't have my reticle set. Now if you notice, the way I was trying to set this up is I wanted to be kiting away from his team. I figured he would be coming down because Shimikazes, for whatever reason, always want to run the flank. Now, this is an RPF trick. There's a reason why I took the route that I did. You take a look at where the Shima was last spotted up in here. What I was looking to do was, as he came out, I wanted to try to slip into RPF line with this Des Moines. So as I came up here, you got to remember there's some what do you want to call some slack to that uh directional bearing. It'll get more accurate as I get closer, but as I get closer, it's a lot more, it's a lot harder for him to miss me. So I'm basically just conducting a sweep up there. If this Shima just ran off north, that's fine. I'm basically going to, I've done my job, and I've basically denied him the flank, and I'm threatening C-cap. Now, I probably wouldn't be able to get C with a Des Moines right here, but I would park right behind this island and be difficult to deal with. Uh, so this here is one way to use RPF against a destroyer. He had RPF, I didn't, but I was able to basically come around here, and there's not really a lot of bearing change when you look at it from this direction. Uh, you know, it might have shifted a tick, maybe two, up until I got really close. And actually, by the time that I got really close, I'm pretty much in line with the Des Moines. So he could probably assume that I'm still right here spotting for my team. All of these ships are still spotted. There's not any clear indicator that I've actually shifted position. So just a little trick here on RPF. Now this smoke, you may think that I burned it. The Shima smoked up. He blew his smoke. I dropped my smoke. This is a daring 101. I dropped my smoke merely to break contact. I didn't want these guys to be able to spot me, so the Shima could park and smoke and farm me. So I popped my smoke. Now Shima's smoke, he's got a much longer cooldown on his smoke than I do. So my smoke's shorter duration, but it's going to be back far sooner than Shima is. So I'm able to aggressively burn one smoke. I'm just going to turn here. I'm predicting this Kreml's going to push her right around this corner, get back to hunting the Shima, and I'm looking here. I see this smoke. The torpedoes tell me where he's at. Just going to squeeze right through this gap. Now you got to be careful here because daring can drift in the turns. But at this point, this Shima, he screwed up. Shima versus daring, you do not want to turn back in. If you've blown your smoke, you put your stern to the daring's last known location and you move. That's your only move. You're not going to win a close-in fight against the daring. You probably won't even win a medium-range engagement with the daring. When you see the levels of HP that this build will. This is full survivability build, survivability expert, superintendent, and you're gonna watch, you know, over the course of the game. I just keep, you know, I just get in things face. You want to shoot at me? Fine. I've got heals for it, and just gonna just tank right through it. Checking out the Kremlin. Almost a perfect torpedo prediction. He's gonna flood out. Now, just before he flooded out, I took that shot, which actually leaves me detected by the Des Moines. I dropped smoke. This is just a momentary thing. I know this Des Moines Russian, so I want to be able to try to complete this turn before I get radar detected. So I'm going, you see I'm turning, and this is a gunfight that, you know, low HP Des Moines, I've got HP, I'm gonna duke this out. And my team's able to finish him off before I will, and just gonna kite back. You look, I've got another repair up, boom, back to 3/4 HP, and coming back for more. One of one of the experimental builds that I'm gonna try with daring is a Dunkirk captain with Jack of all trades. I'm in the process of grinding it out to 19 points, but want to try to do the same thing that I'm doing with Z52 with much quicker cooldowns on consumables in particular. It only shaves like I think 7 seconds off the smoke, but you get your repair faster, you get your hydro faster, even your repair party would come back online faster. And my theory behind this is that you take a ship that already can play very in your face inside of the cooldowns on other destroyers' smoke, and you improve that more, you might have something special. So I got to play with it and see if it's worth giving up Adrenaline Rush for that or not. I would only do it with a Dunkirk captain because you get 10% instead of the usual 5, and you add the flag. That's 15% off your consumables, which at least for Z52 is significant. The numbers in general don't seem as high for daring, but it doesn't have the super long cooldown on smoke, and hydro is already a pretty long cooldown. But this one also has repair party that is another important consumable. Here, uh, enemy team's down to 2 ships. I've got HP. Shoot at me. You know, just gonna try to use my HP. Maybe I save one of my ships from getting nuked down here if they switch to target me, and that's what's happening with this Stalingrad. Um, I wouldn't be doing this if this was a closer game or I didn't have HP. If it was a closer game, I might do it if my teammates were low HP and I had this level of HP. But this is one of the ways that daring can really be effective for his team. And again, you know, the shots that I've taken, just repair it right back up. Pop hydro because the game's gonna be over. It really sucked to eat a torpedo right now. And just gonna push. Now, another thing that you noticed, I didn't cap C. I could have capped C. It would have kind of taken me out of the fight a little bit. And I saw that this team was melting, and I'd rather, you know, get the kills than get the cap, basically. So I knew this thing was a for sure thing, so I just passed up the cap, which in the end probably hurt me on base XP. I probably would have been around 1.9. Um, but, you know, it is what it is. Looking at the detailed report, uh, a lot of gun damage. Well, actually, not even that much gun damage. I didn't shoot that much. Uh, Torpedoes, they're very underrated on daring. Plus, you can do things like with the single launch torps that you just can't on other ships. A real fun one is you get those island camping radar ships that they're just moving forward and back in one angle and just taking and dumping all 10 torpedoes down like a fraction of a degree of bearing, and watch those ships eat, you know, 3, 4, 5 torpedoes just because there's nowhere to go. They've boxed themselves in. That's a Royal Navy destroyer special right there. Um, you know, some other things that helps the team. Torpedo spotting with the hydro. Um, this the spotting damage could have been higher if that Des Moines initially would have gotten nuked. Guys, I'm almost through the video. Calm down. Um, you look at the HP tanked. You know, they did just over 17,000 to me, and I was still like 2/3 HP. That should tell you the amount of HP that you can burn through over the course of a game with this ship. You've got a lot of room to run with this. This ship's, just kind of like a pack of wild dogs. You just run destroyers and other ships into the ground using this against them. So I'm going to cut this off because it seems like the dinosaurs are getting ready to rampage and knock it off. I hope you guys are having a good night. If you've got any questions, leave them below, and I will talk to you later.